It's been over a half year since Corona-19 virus broke out. Nevertheless, there is no sign that the number of coroners in the world will decrease. So far, the number of confirmed cases is increasing out of control with the popularity of corona around the world. In the United States, the number of corona confirmed cases exceeds 2 million. Other countries are also struggling with corona-19. On the other hand, Korea was considered one of the most exemplary countries in response to corona, to the extent that the new word K-discharge appeared. We paid attention to the inflow path of coronavirus at home and abroad and tried to prevent further confirmed cases. Domestic and foreign media praised Chung Eun-kyung, head of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, who is responsible for responding corona in Korea. Hundreds of years ago, there was still an epidemic in Joseon Dynasty. Sometimes you've heard the word the plague in historical dramas. How did they respond to the epidemic? And what characters struggled to the epidemic? According to the Joseon Dynasty annals, in the Joseon Dynasty, there were 1,400 cases of plague from 1392 to 1864. Throughout the Joseon Dynasty, there were numerous plague cases throughout the country. During the Joseon Dynasty, medicines were provided through Hwainso or Haeminso when an epidemic broke out. However, if you get an infectious disease because the price of the medicine is too expensive and difficult to get, the first priority was not to go to places where there are many people. In some cases, the king forcibly sent the instead of certain areas to relieve the epidemic, and in order to relieve the anger of the sky, he made efforts such as holding a memorial services. But there was no concept of the exact cause of prevention or infectious diseases. In violation of quarantine orders, infectious disease spread inside the military, and gunpowder and firecrackers were also held to fight the epidemic. There is even a record killing a suspected infectious disease soldier in an uninhabited island or water. More lives have been sacrificed to prevent the spread of the disease than treatment if it is suspected a little. In particular, infectious disease occurred frequently in the late 16th and early 17th centuries. During the Japanese invasion of Korea in 1592, elderly people and children died intensively due to this culture. This is quoted from the annals of the Joseon Dynasty. At the time when the Hakju was in trouble in society, people called it Danghak from China, and many old people and children died.
Hojun, who was famous for writing the Korean medical book 동의보감, appeared when the country was very confused by the epidemic. He was born as a bastard from a noble family, but he became the fourth-rank official, a court physician, after he cured the disease of a scholar. It was surprising because at that time, the first place of the medical exam could only become the eighth-rank official. We can see that he was recognized for his ability. After he became the court physician, he wrote many medical books and became the best court physician. There are 8 books which Hojun wrote. 동의보감 is publicly recognized, but recently 신참묘온방 and 벽역신방, which were wrote to prevent epidemics, are getting attention in connection with the COVID-19 pandemic. 신참벽온방 is a professional medical book to prevent epidemics. In 1612, an epidemic was spreading through the peninsula. The king tried to avoid the spread with the existing book, but it didn't work at all. King Hwanghae-gun called Hojun to write a new one for the first aid prescription. A few months later, Hojun analyzed many books and completed a new manual for the prevention and remedy for the epidemics. It was named 신참벽온방. The book described the cause, symptom, common prescription, and the feature of the infectious diseases. The book classified the diseases specifically and also described the symptoms and treatment method in detail. The reason why this one is admitted as the best one is because the common people could easily follow the instructions. The treatment required medicinal herbs that were available in real life, and also the prevention could be practiced easily. The quality of the book and the author's consideration made it possible to prevent the pandemic. In recognition of this, the book was listed on the UNESCO Memory of the World in 2009. In the same year, the king ordered Hojun to write another book to cure the plague. 벽역신방 was wrote due to the number of deaths rapidly increased by the different disease.
If Hojun tried to prevent the epidemic by compiling books himself, Cheongjo, the 22nd king of the Joseon dynasty, was regarded as a king who wisely dealt with the epidemic. In the 17th century, before the death of Hojun and ascending throne of King Cheongjo, Joseon was killed by an infectious disease. In 1670 to 1671, during King Sukjong's era, about 1 million people died from the Gyeongshin Great Famine, and between 1693 to 1699, during King Sukjong, about 1.41 million people, which was 20% of the Korean population at that time, died. There is a record that there were 50,000 to 60,000 deaths due to the prevalence of the epidemic in 1749 during King Yeongjo, which was the father of King Cheongjo. Cheongjo also suffered great pain from the plague because at 1786, one of the infectious diseases was spread across the country, and the whole city was really at panic. So also at this time, his first son of King Cheongjo died at the age of 6. So Cheongjo, who experienced the fear of infectious disease up really close, he also tried to really minimize the damage caused by infectious diseases. So he also tried to help a lot of citizens, and also he also tried to make a lot of various medicines.
In particular, he tried to prevent the spread of the disease by instructing not to spread further near the city where many people live. There are many people living in the capital city, so it is also worrisome that if someone gets sick in one house, it will be transferred and moved to another's. So by all the commoners and servants who are sick should be placed in the East-West Hawin book for treatment, and those who die among that should be buried at that time, and not leave bodies near the city walls. Meanwhile, King Cheongjo also ordered a prison one of the crowded places in a small place. Unlike other kings whose prisoners had no infectious disease-related measures, King Cheongjo treated sinners to prevent them from getting infected. He cleaned the jail of the prisoners, them from getting infected. The prisoners were treated by the sick, and the death row was treated without killing those who had already accepted it. This is what King Cheongjo's affection for the people was revealed. King Cheongjo ordered Kang Byung-gil, a royal official, to publish a protocol for a quarantine. So Jaejongsil록 was made. This book is a systematic compilation of existing medical theories and provide clinical experiences in this case protocol. Compared to Dongbogam, the Book of Medical, which contains 3,500 prescriptions are written, which are small in number, that it have 2,500 prescriptions, but it are more efficient and easy to purchase. This book is said to be the best of the late Joseon books of the extension of disease. After it was distributed by the governors, it was published in the Qing dynasty, the name Cheongnara in Korean. In Jongjosil록, there are many themes that are rising in Dongbogam, overlapping and completed contents, so the publication of the new edition was ordered to have the published in order to organize them so that they can be widely used in the commoners. In the Joseon dynasty, infection diseases were so feared that they could not be stopped. The lack of a concept of virus prevention made it too difficult to deal with the extension causes and prevention that we have today. However, Hojun and Jeongjong showed their best efforts in dealing with the epidemic in their respective positions. Taking lessons from previous explanations is more effective measures and to respect for human life and still have a good influence. Thank you for listening our UCC.